Okay, tonight's episode of the Sunday Night Talk is here. It's ready. It's Sunday night. Cowboys, 49ers wrapped up. We're going to bring up Omar in a second. I want to remind you, we are brought to you by the Running It Back Network, where all my stuff is up there, the stand-up comedy clips, this very show, the Sunday Night Talk, and I got some NFL YouTube shorts that go up every Sunday as well. So check it all out and subscribe to the channel. As we grow, you will grow too. So let's bring in the one and only Omar Carmona. His team won today. Let's see his feelings. Let's start the show. All right, Omar is here. He is audio this week. I don't know. He might be on the run. He might be in witness protection. We don't know. Where are you? Can you say?
I am in Atlanta, Georgia.
And what are you doing there?
I am here for work. I got in late. Luggage took a while. My laptop should be coming in the next few hours. So I am on my phone. And you know, it was still a great Sunday of football.
Oh my God, I don't know if I believe you or not, but I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I think you might be in a bunker, but somehow you still have internet access, so I appreciate that.
Well, I mean, I am in the hotel, so I mean, I am fine with Wi-Fi.
Oh, okay. Nice hotel, Marriott, Hilton.
Yeah, it's a Marriott. Very nice.
Okay, very nice, Omar. All right, well, we wrapped up Dallas, San Francisco. I want to hit a couple things before we get to that particular game, because number one, I have a new strategy for watching my Raiders from now on, because you can see I'm not in the studio anymore. I moved it to the kitchen because
I like it.
Yeah, and I'm out of the studio. There's no need for it to be all professional, and I switched to my party shirt because I am at the point now of the NFL season where every Sunday is just going to be a Sunday fun day for the Raiders, where I just kind of peek at the game. I kind of don't really live and die with each third down.
Does it seem to you that this is the Max Crosby free agency tour? Are you kind of getting that feeling?
Although he's the only bright spot of the team really this year, but I mean, he didn't have a huge game today. I think he got a sack though, but he says he doesn't want to go anywhere.
But he is still worth a ton if you're the Raiders, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're taking phone calls because maybe there's a team that's Super Bowl ready that would just needs maybe a pass rusher. Hey, the 49ers need a pass rusher.
Detroit Lions lost Aiden Hutchinson.
So if that could make the difference between it. So some GMs would be like, well, you know what? I'm going to go for the Super Bowl now, even if that means me giving up, a first rounder and, 2 second rounders and a third,
Yeah, I don't doubt for a second that teams that need to meet the trade deadline and would like to bolster a defense would go after them. The question is if the Raiders want to trade them. And if I'm the Raiders, it's like, no way. He's the only good thing we have on this team. And he seems to actually want to be on this team, which, as far as good players go, seem to really want to leave the Raiders. Devontae Adams, Khalil Mack back in the day, Antonio Brown, they all wanted to leave. So if Crosby wants to stay, I want to keep him. There's no doubt about it. There's no way I'm shopping our guy. What do you think? They should shop him? That's crazy.
But again, everybody has a value. So, I mean, like I said, if it means stockpiling draft picks, you're taking phone calls.
Yeah, that's maybe a good point, because there is other things that really need improvement on the Raiders. I mean, starting with the quarterback. Can you trade for a coach? I'm not sure.
You can, but really, I mean, Brock Bowers is really the only playmaking, set of hands the Raiders have,
Yeah, Jenkins was good today in the second half, but Brock Bowers has been the revelation as far as a draft pick we didn't really think we wanted, and yet he's been good. Not good enough to really change games, but definitely productive. So, I switched to just check on the Raiders mode today, although today it still didn't work. I watched most of the game. But now I just like have a party, eat some food, flip channels if you want, go outside. Like it's just about really trying to find the diamonds in the rough now for this year because
But
there's
but
no
but but
reason in trying to win these games per se.
But here's the thing too, there's also a lot of other bad teams. So it's not like even even if you think up the joint, there's other teams that are stinking up the joint. So that doesn't even mean you're guaranteed a top pick, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
That doesn't even mean the Raiders are guaranteed a top 5 pick with the way they're playing, you know?
Right.
Because
Yeah.
because
They're in the
there's some other teams out there that are just absolutely terrible. I mean, let's go to the Giants.
mhm.
Let's go to the Panthers. I mean, again, I do think the Red Rocket Dalton thing that was just a fun little 2 weeks,
Yeah, it really was. That was
but
it. They
you
got to
know
beat the Raiders.
the Saints with Spencer Rattler do not look good.
The Saints are
Um,
unraveling,
the
and
the
it's
Bears the Bears
when can they
woke
get
up.
that car?
The Bears woke up in the last 2 minutes, but other than that, they looked lifeless for for 57 minutes.
Well, I want to talk about Rams Minnesota real quick before we go to
Let's go. Let's do that
a
one.
couple of questions and then the games themselves because I was so impressed with the Rams on Thursday night. I thought Stafford was just dealing the ball wherever he wanted to against a Minnesota defense that we think is pretty good.
And, and this is the Rams that like we all think this team can be. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the dominant. Weren't they not dominant? I mean, on both sides of the ball, controlling the line of scrimmage, the turnover battle. These guys just did a number on, what was a very hot Vikings team. And now it kind of seems like the Vikings team is reeling.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask. I think they played a really good Vikings team. I don't think the Vikings were poor or anything, and the Rams were up to the challenge, and they put 30 on them, and they won that game looking like the Rams that we think they are. The only question is, can they do it next week? They haven't been really consistent. But if this is what the Rams' ceiling is, like they can win this division, they can win
Right.
that NFC. So that was a big, big revelation for a Thursday night, which is typically not a very good offensive night for teams. But so you're with me. Rams impressive and
Rams are very
Vikings
impressive.
still impressive. I still like the Vikings. Still think they look sharp. On the road Thursday night
Look,
is
well,
tough.
let's just say what the NFC is right now. The NFC is the Detroit Lions and everyone else.
Yeah, Lions are the class of the NFC right now, and they look like they can't be stopped.
Pat, they play defense and they run the football. I mean, that's Vince Lombardi type. It's just we're just gonna win
That's the black
championships.
and blue.
Yeah, we're just gonna win championships running the ball and stopping you every time, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, they rolled over a pretty pitiful Tennessee Titans team today. And like they were doing the trick plays and they were just busting everybody. And it was just basically an offensive parade for the Lions. It was like everything the Lions want to be right now.
Right,
It's been a great season if you're a Lions fan, just everything's been so great. Like you don't need to go into party shirt mode like I have with my
right.
team with the Lions. Well, I have a couple questions for you before we get to the San Francisco game. First question is, who do you think is having the absolute worst season? Is it the Jets, Bengals, Carolina, or Tennessee?
I am going to say right now the worst season in the NFL has to go to the Tennessee Titans. I just
Hmm.
there is no bright spot. Here's the thing with the Panthers. Okay, I think the Panthers. I don't. I think the problem is in the leadership as far as not the player personnel. I'm thinking the GM ownership. I just think that it's not a good environment. I don't think Bryce Young is a bad quarterback. Unfortunately, it's probably going to have to be somewhere else where he gets his start, right? Um, but I think right now the worst situation in football um, is the Titans. Here's another bad situation. You know what? I'll take that back. Worse than the Titans, the New York Jets.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm surprised you chose those because I have
You know,
Jets far and away number one,
but
having the absolute
and I
worst
think
season.
and having the worst season when how can you say we're having the worst season when you got Devontae Adams, you know?
Yep.
And and how can you say that you have Lazard, Devontae, Wilson, Breeze. I mean, with Aaron Rodgers looks old, and I think this is his last season.
Yeah, it's
I don't think he'll do this again.
right. That's going to be the question. I don't think it's a question. I mean, he does look a little old out there. He can make the throws, but he can't move quite as well. So this is a question. Does he want to go through this again? Like, let's
I
just
don't.
talk about the Jets for a second. First, Rodgers is healthy. So we're like, all this anticipation. Here we go. The Jets have their, everyone's healthy. Everything's looking good. They keep losing. They fire their head coach. Aaron Rodgers doesn't look good in so many of these games. It's the season from hell with the Jets. Now we're like, we got to get Devontae Adams. Okay, you got him. You're still losing 2 games in a row. It
Right,
is everything does not work. Ironically, today against the Patriots was I think their best game, and they still lost. Their
right.
kicker, their kicker Omar, I think has lost them 3 or 4 games at this point. He missed a field goal today. He missed an extra point today. He has been having a season from hell too. And Rodgers is almost at the point where like he's completely checked out. Like he doesn't
He's
want
checked
to
out.
be he doesn't want to lead, he doesn't want to celebrate. It's the inmates are running the prison right now at the New
how
York
about
Jets.
his cryptic quote saying you just got to kind of go into the darkness to to confront it or whatever he said. It's just
Well, whatever he's doing is not working. He either needs to get off all the drugs or take way more of them. That
no.
is my thought.
I just think it's time. He's gonna retire. I think this is his last year. I don't think another team. And again, I think you said it best. He can make throws, right? I mean, he
He
can.
was throwing great today.
So the issue just comes down to he just doesn't bring anything as far as a leader to the team. And I mean, and you're gonna need franchise quarterbacks, right? Why do we say you need a franchise quarterback? Look what's going on in Washington. They have a franchise quarterback,
Yeah.
and look at the resume, Aaron Rodgers versus Jaden Daniels, and look how different those two franchises look.
Yeah. I mean,
And
coaching
and
is
on
such a
paper,
huge thing.
and on paper, look who's got the better team. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? I mean, it's and now look, let's say you put Jaden Daniels on that Jets team. Uh, do we have a better Jets team?
Yeah, I'm inclined to think so because he can make the throws and he can move. But I mean, the coaching thing is like, I've been realizing this with like the Raiders, a mediocre team put in with good coaching elevates the team. And that's exactly what the Raiders are not. Like they are
Did,
very mediocre
but
and they're not elevated in the coaching at all.
didn't
The
it
play calling is horrible. The
didn't it kind
creativity in the play calling is horrible. You need coaching. And I think that's what Jaden Daniels has right now. So you put him on the Jets. I don't think he's going to improve the Jets any because they're just in such
but
a
look what happens.
just such a
Look
mess, such
look what
chaos.
happens. You get Aaron Rodgers. He basically runs off the coach, right? I mean,
Hmm.
they're not talking about it, but he ran Salah off, okay? And at the end of the day, now he's going to check out. So just by signing him, you're starting from scratch 2 years later. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah,
So
who's going to
what?
coach in his next year in his final year of the contract? Like that's going
And
to be
not
a
only that,
huge decision now.
so look at what the ownership does. Not only that, but you drafted two studs in Garrett Wilson and Brees Hall, right? I mean, these are studs, but you're wasting their best years. Okay, you know, we're talking what could have been a situation like what Ben Roethlisberger had with Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown. That's how I look at Garrett Wilson and Brees Hall, and now they're nothing. I mean, these guys are nothing. And so,
It's chaos there in New York for
yeah,
the
so
Jets.
that's the worst. That's the worst situation
The
because
other thing is too, like we have been shoved down our throats these Jets on the national stage. So aren't their Monday night game next week, I think, or Sunday night? They're one of the primetime games. It's like I have watched so much Jets. I purposely didn't watch it this week, and I just watched the highlights because
so
nothing's gonna happen. I'm not gonna be
so
entertained by these Jets.
let's say you're the Jets and you have a top 3 or 4 pick. Okay, let's just say you have a top 4 pick. Are you drafting a quarterback? You need to, but
Yeah, yeah, you would because
you're
it's
literally
gonna be the
but you're
final year of Aaron Rodgers next year.
so what are you gonna do? You know?
Yeah, you got to draft or trade for one because he's on a 3-year deal, and next year will be year number 3. So I don't. I'm sure that's in their head. Well, are they gonna go back to what's that guy's name? Zach Wilson? Is he even on the team anymore? No, he's not on the team.
He's with Denver. He's with Denver.
Oh yeah, he went to Denver. I forget who their backup is, but it's not gonna be him. They gotta go find somebody. It's just
Yeah.
a season from hell. Start planning for next year right now.
Yeah.
Jets. You need a coach. You need a quarterback. And what about? It won't happen. I was like, why? I was making a list of teams that should be calling Belichick the rest of the year, just to say like, hey, how's it going? How you doing, man? Hey, did you watch the game? Just like, don't offer him the job, but just like start talking with him so you become friends.
Would Bill Belichick ever coach the Jets?
No, he's a Giants guy. He hates the Jets. But would he coach? Maybe that should be a new game. Would Bill Belichick coach? And we just list teams. Would Bill Belichick coach the Jets? I'm firm no. Would Bill Belichick coach the Giants? I think that's a maybe. I say you call him up, you get some text going, you send him like a holiday text.
For sure.
Would Bill Belichick coach the Raiders?
Never.
Never. Because of Tom Brady?
He's got that young girlfriend though.
Yeah, so she might like Vegas.
Maybe he'll go to Vegas.
Yeah, and get her like a suite in one of the on top of the casinos. Like that could impress like a young 24-year-old.
For
And
sure.
maybe, but he'd have to in some way, shape, or form work for Tom Brady since he's a minority owner now. May not like that. Would Bill Belichick coach the Jaguars? That's possible. I don't see why not. Titans?
No, he likes boats.
Yeah, he likes boats. So Florida's pretty good. Old people love Florida too.
They
So
do.
I would take I'd be calling Bill Belichick if I'm any of those teams. All right, let's talk your team because for some reason you were down on your team last week and you almost gave up on the season. I don't know why. Like you're nowhere near party shirt like I am. But now this week, I thought that was a good win. I thought it was impressive. It got a little shaky at the end. Just give me your feeling on the current 49ers state right now that they've won.
Well, we're like we're like we're like a damn. Excuse me. We're like a
Wow.
hospital
Are you
right
in a
now.
dungeon?
No, Pat.
You said
No,
you're in a
Pat.
car, you're in a hotel. Like you might be in a dungeon. You might be
No,
a
no.
hostage. But somehow you still watch the game, so that's good.
No, I watched the game, and it was just the Niners are a very hurt team right now. We don't have our top playmakers. McCaffrey's out. Debo was out last week, but he had a big game today.
Debo was good today.
Great, but we still have no McCaffrey. Jawan Jennings, Kittle's not 100%, but he had another good game today.
Good today too. Yep.
Uh,
How about the guy who got shot? That guy was pretty good.
yeah, good young player. So we got the talent. It's just we're just not healthy.
All right. Well, what'd you think about the performance today, though? Can that team be a playoff
It's the Cowboys.
contender?
It's the Cowboys.
So
That's
you
just- that's
didn't
just-
think the
that's just-
Cowboys were a good opponent.
That's not a benchmark.
So are you still down because they only won by 6 points?
No, I'm still down on the Niners this year.
You're still down. God, man, I don't believe you are the only fan who's down on a team after they win.
No, they're not good.
Oh God. Wow. I don't know what the kind of fan this makes you. You're like the fan who loves this team but just talks shit on their team. They're like, they're not good, they're injured. Our guy got shot. Well, that was a bad omen when your draft pick gets shot before the season even starts. Although he
Yeah.
does seem to be completely recovered. Oh my God.
No, he's fine. It was a entry and exit. Nothing happened.
Wow. Well, maybe Christian McCaffrey should get shot. That way he
Hey,
can get back on the field
I
quicker.
don't think you can wish somebody getting shot.
I don't think you can wish bad upon your team after they win a game, Omar. Don't you see this guy getting shot actually made him recover quicker? I don't know. McCaffrey seems to be getting his tendonitis seems to be spreading somehow. He's been doing a lot of cheering on the sideline. All right. So you weren't nervous at all when Dallas had the ball.
No, I was nervous.
Okay, because let me take you through it. Dallas is down 6, 3:05 left from the 25-yard line. They had just had two pretty efficient touchdown drives previous to this. Here's the first play. Pass almost picked off by Fred Warner and 2 other 49ers by Dak on first down. Second down, Dak Prescott essentially throws the ball away. Third down, deep throw to Turbin, which is incomplete. He puts it in a spot, but it would have been hard to catch it. And then fourth down, incomplete, turnover on downs. So the nerves lasted all of 4 downs, and that was it. Is this loss on Dak, do you think?
No, the loss was on Jerry Jones. He's the worst owner in sports, and the team
Jerry
is
Jones.
a reflection. Yeah.
Did you see his family got in a car accident on the way to the game?
On the way to the game today, yeah.
Another bad omen. Jeez.
Terrible omen, yeah.
I think this loss is on some defense and some Dak, because Dak was really, 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 really poor in that second and third quarter. What did the Niners score, like 17 straight on him?
Yeah. Niners
Something is not right about Dak.
Something's not right about Brock Purdy.
What do you think's wrong with Brock Purdy?
Not accurate.
Yeah. What was that fourth down? He missed to Samuel, like he threw it behind him.
Yep.
That was inaccurate. I thought he was average to better than average today, though. I thought he was hitting everybody. Those passes to Kittle were excellent. He's running really, really well. Wow, you still don't want to believe in Brock Purdy, though. Remember a year ago when you didn't want to believe in him either? He's like a stepchild that you'll never love as your own. You just don't want to give it up for Brock Purdy, do you?
Nope, not at all.
Why not? Why don't you like Brock Purdy?
No, it's just he's not. Right now he's just off a little bit.
But you've never liked him, though.
I've liked him. He was fine last year.
I don't know. I kind of remember these same things from you last year. And didn't he finish like 4th in MVP voting or something? It was good last year. God, you're such a stingy fan, Omar. All right, so 49ers win. I think they're getting healthier. Debo looked good. He just has to warm up. It was a slow first quarter. Although pretty slow offense for the first half. Didn't you think? Like kind of slow all around in the NFL now. First half offense. But Dallas rallied, and I made in my notes, whoever loses this game should just go home and stay home. Because I think it's done. I think it would have been done for the 49ers if they lost this game today. But it's done for Dallas. Do you see them turning this season around at all? Because I don't. I think they're right next to the Jets.
They're not going to win the division.
No way.
At this point, they just got to worry about the Giants catching up to them,
Right. I think they play the Giants next. Oh, no, they play them on Thanksgiving. Yeah, so no belief in Dallas.
None. They're done.
Did you see their kicker has to go back to jury duty this week?
Yeah. Idiot.
He's an idiot because he couldn't get out of jury duty?
He's either an idiot that he couldn't get out of jury duty, or if you're the defense lawyer, you don't want him on your jury because that means he showed up with an agenda to convict. I believe that.
Oh, yeah, but you're speculating that. Why do you think? Why would he have an agenda to convict? Why not
Patrick, he's got
an agenda the other way?
Be on a jury right now, so he just wants to be on a jury to be a jerk.
Oh, and if he wants to convict, then that means what? He wants to be on the jury for a long time?
No, he just wants to send a guy to prison for like 50 years.
Where are you getting this from? This sounds very, very speculative. He just wants to send someone to prison for 15 years. What's the case? Do we know the case he's on the jury for?
I think it was a robbery.
Oh, okay. Well, he's got jury duty coming up, so I think it's too late. He's on the jury.
Yeah, he made the jury.
Yeah. Wow, isn't that kind of hard to do, make the jury, and he did it?
If you stay quiet, it's pretty easy.
So that's why you think he's got an agenda, because he wants jury duty?
Because he wants to be on the jury.
No, he does. He doesn't want jury. No one wants jury duty.
He's a Dallas Cowboy. Why would he be doing jury duty?
You're so biased. You're so biased against Jerry Jones and the Cowboys, and yet you hate your own quarterback. You're in this dungeon, Omar. I'm gonna give you a pass because you might be podcasting under duress right now. All right, let's talk the other games. because the early slate, I think, was the best early slate we've ever had. So I got main storylines. We had the miraculous Washington, and I got a little question for you. It's called Are they real? Green Bay, Atlanta, Detroit, Houston, Washington, Buffalo. Let's talk it out. Green Bay, are they real?
No, only if Jordan Love is 100%. But
What happened to them?
if he's
I,
hurt, and he may be hurt, Pat, he may be hurt. If he's hurt, they're not a good team. They
what
need Jordan
happened
Love.
to him? I was on Sunday Fun Day and I looked at the TV and all of a sudden it was Malik Willis.
Yeah, so he tweaked something. I didn't see the play, but I still haven't seen any reels or anything. So, but what I do know is that I think the coach LaFleur expressed some concern that it could be long term.
Atlanta, are they real?
Surprisingly, yes.
Wow, why surprisingly? Cousins?
Yeah, Cousins.
So you think Cousins is going to be good after October for once in his life?
Yes,
Wow. That's the one you take the go out on a limb on and not your own team. You're all over the place.
I
All right.
am
Detroit, they're real all the way.
all the way. Best team maybe the best team in football.
Yeah, if this was college football, they'd be number one right now. Are they real? Houston snuck out a win against Indianapolis today.
The problem with Houston is that they're sneaking out wins that they shouldn't be sneaking out. They don't play well against bad teams, and that's concerning.
So you're going to give them are they real, but with like a asterisk?
Right.
Okay. Washington.
I'm all in on Washington. That's my second favorite team in the
Wow.
league right now.
Is that right? That was a fun game today, although not a lot of offense, but took a miracle.
Last 2 minutes were fantastic. So I saw that one on a plane, but that one was by far Jaden Daniels. He's on the verge of superstardom. Stardom.
Okay, we're going to talk about that game in a minute. Buffalo killed Seattle today. Are they real?
No. One thing I'm not liking is that Josh Allen does not protect the football.
Buffalo not real. Anybody I left out of there that should be real? Oh, Chiefs. Chief,
Well,
but that is more of like, can any of these teams beat the Chiefs?
Right.
Kind of a list.
Yeah, the Chiefs shouldn't be on anybody's list right now.
Yeah, it's funny. They're the most quiet 7-0 team I think in history.
Right.
I have been so obsessed this week with the notion of the three-peat. So I watched a bunch of NFL conference championships where teams almost got to the Super Bowl, 2 3-peat, and it's super fascinating. All the little bounces of the ball that they didn't get and things like that. So the Chiefs are, I mean, it might be my favorite storyline of the year is how they have been treated being the two-time defending champs. And they're 7-0, and it's like we're talking about Atlanta. All right, I got who looked good this week. I got Rams and Matthew Stafford. Who looked bad? And I wrote Jets, parentheses, everything. Everything's bad in New York.
Everything, the entire city of New York and football just don't mix right now.
No, and the Giants haven't even played yet this week. All right, so let's talk a couple interesting games. Philly, Cincinnati. Are we ready to bury Cincinnati?
I think we're ready to bury both. I don't even think Philly
Even in
looks
a win,
great.
huh?
Yeah, even in a win. I think both teams are kind of similar. A lot of talent on paper, but I don't trust them to beating anybody great.
Cincinnati is just, they find ways to lose all these games. They find ways to be good enough to just lose. It's really, really strange. And they might be having the season from hell where just nothing is clicking. But the only thing I kind of liked about this game was Philly did the tush push a couple times and it didn't work. I secretly love when the tush push fails. I love it. I love when it doesn't work. So that's the only part I sort of watched about this game. And you don't believe in Philly? I don't think I do either. Wasn't Philly like 9-0 last year?
Yeah.
How did what happened to them? Like Philly, you cannot be trusted. to be 9-0. So I didn't believe in any of these teams either, other than the game was fairly competitive. But Philly wins 37-17. So not really. The game kind of got boring on itself. Okay, next game. Now we get into the good stuff. Jameis Winston, everybody's favorite quarterback, starts for the Cleveland Browns, and they pull off this miraculous win 29-24 against Baltimore.
My second favorite game after the Commanders game. But Cleveland, amazing that Jameis Winston comes in. Deshaun Watson is now, will never wear another Browns jersey again. What a story. Jameis Winston, hero, and the best guy with the quotes.
Yeah, and he's given Cleveland something to cheer about at the quarterback position. Did you see his little he holds a little press conference in the locker room now with his quotes after the game last week when they booed Deshaun Watson, and he's like, "You don't do that. That's classless. This is a man who puts it on the line." And I'm thinking okay, maybe he does, maybe he doesn't, but God damn it, wouldn't it be great if everybody had a friend like Jameis Winston?
He's
That guy
fantastic.
is like, I got your back no matter what. No one's gonna talk bad about my friend. Oh my God, Jameis Winston is just such a nice guy. What a champ. So I'm glad that he got in today and just had an amazing game. Jameis Winston magic. Let's get that going. Which makes me think the Raiders should have signed him. And also Lamar had a shot at the end of that game. Just couldn't put it in the end zone. They needed 6 and not 3. And I think they had a play from the 30. This didn't make my favorite quote, but this was in the Cleveland game. One of the announcers said, I think the Cleveland defender had a good play or something. And the announcer says, let's watch this replay. You see, when you're getting blocked, you just got to solve your problems with aggression. That's what you got to do. Solve your problems with aggression. I was like, hey, I've never heard that term before. I'll take it. New York Jets at New England. We already talked about that. The only thing we didn't talk about is Drake May goes out of the game, and I watched the highlights. Drake May had 2 of his best drives of the season in this
Yeah,
game, and then he
he's
goes
got
out.
he's got some potential.
Man, he
So
looked good on these
they
2
they they,
drives.
they really got to build around him.
Now I'm a little worried for him too. Oh my God, don't be injured. This could be a guy for the next 5 years easily. And he went out with, I think it was concussion stuff. Although that being said, Jacoby Brissett had his best game too against the Jets. None of those teams are going anywhere though.
None.
Arizona at Miami. You were texting me about this game. Why?
Well, Tua, the guy almost died, with a concussion last time, and now he's back on the field. What, 6 weeks later? That's
So
kind of
so
that's
you're
scary,
saying, yeah,
man.
too early. Because I don't want to, I got to be honest, I don't want to watch Tua because I'm scared of what I might see.
Yeah, and when he gets a concussion, it just his hands do these crazy
Yeah.
things, and it's just I wish the guy well, but it just but you know what? Even with him back in the lineup, they still lose.
Yeah, I fully expected Arizona to lose this game. Cross country, away game. Arizona loses dumb games like this, and 28-27, they win. I don't
But
know
how
what's
good?
up with
How
Arizona, but they're
good?
pretty fun.
But how good is Harrison Jr.?
Yeah, that's true. Maybe they are slowly building something here. Maybe this is a good year for Arizona as far as foundation building. Fun team. I like watching Arizona. Other good game of the early slate. Green Bay at Jacksonville. Took a last second field goal. Malik Willis goes in. They're tied with a minute 48. He drives them down. Gets the win. Jacksonville, not good, although gave them a game today. Trevor Lawrence, I think, was actually good in this game.
Not bad. Yeah, not bad. But again, I think Green Bay. They've been winning some close games lately. It's the second straight game with a last second field goal. But they're winning, and they're trying. I don't think they'll catch Detroit. I don't think they're better than Detroit, but maybe they're a threat. If they catch Detroit on a bad day.
Yeah. Yeah, say a bad weather day or something late in the season. They're really, really talented. I'm worried about Jordan Love though. I feel like he might be injury prone. We don't know what's going on there yet with Jordan Love. Although he stayed on the sidelines in uniform. So I figure it can't be that bad. But I just don't know these days. We don't know about the blue tent, what goes on in the blue tent, you know? Jacksonville's going nowhere, right? That's the Belichick. If I'm Jacksonville, I got to be making a hard play for Belichick. Don't you
Right.
think? You're like, I got to go hard on this man for the rest of the year. It's like, hey, you watch the game? You want some tickets to the game? You want to sit in our luxury box? Bring your girlfriend. They got to start whining and dining Belichick right now. That's what I would do. All right, Atlanta at Tampa Bay. Another game you texted me about. First thing I noticed, you probably can guess it, what I noticed in this game first.
The creamsicles.
Okay, second thing I noticed.
Right. What was that?
Tampa Bay has the bench canopy. I don't know if you saw
Oh,
that. And I purposely looked on the Atlanta side, and they didn't have it. I still don't know how other teams don't have a canopy for themselves yet. Protect yourself against the sun in case there's rain or weather later. I don't know how people didn't think of this. The bench canopy. Atlanta, you think they're real?
with Kirk Cousins playing the way he's playing, they could reel off some wins.
I was watching the pregame too, and they were talking about this game being like a premier game, and I'm like, come on, this can't be? But I'm like, wait, look at the records, they are. And Gronkowski went on this like 2-minute rant about how Baker Mayfield is like a quarterback of his generation, and he's the kind of guy every team wishes they had. And I'm like, I think you're talking me into Baker Mayfield, Gronk. This guy is the man. And they had a Hail Mary. It didn't go successful like Washington, but they were a Hail Mary away, which was a really funny Hail Mary because he throws it too far. So it's out of the back of the end zone, and all the receivers jump and they take out a security guard. I love it when sideline people get taken out for plays. What else did I notice here? Oh, we had a couple flea flickers in NFL games today. And Tampa Bay did one, and I had this thought. I don't think the flea flicker works anymore because they both didn't really work. Flea flicker was a thing of the 80s.
Yeah, that's long gone. These defenses are too good.
Yeah, it doesn't work anymore. It makes me kind of sad. But the flea flicker did not work. What impressed you about this Atlanta Tampa Bay game that you found it necessary to text me? Like, you'd send me a text like, this is crazy. But maybe you were texting me because you were in the process of being kidnapped at the time. I'm not sure.
Both teams can score. They can put up a lot of points. And Baker just didn't outscore Kirk Cousins. But two teams that can put up some points.
Yeah, and they're like fun teams. Like, I love a Florida home game in late October too, because it's like, it still looks like it's summertime out there. We haven't had any weather games yet, have we?
No,
nothing. Nothing yet. Everything's been perfect. Tennessee at Detroit. We talked about that. I wrote down trap game and then had to cross it out. Cruise control for Detroit as well. So moving on to Indianapolis at Houston. Houston wins this one last second field goal. So we had 3 games in the early slate that came down to a last second field goal and 1 touchdown, which was the Cleveland one. So there was a sideline reporter that did the third quarter interview with the coaches. And I think at the half, you want to know what Anthony Richardson's stat line was at halftime?
I don't know, but it couldn't have been good.
Omar, you're wrong. It wasn't good. It was horrible. 2 of 15.
2 of 15, and then he took himself out of a game because he said he was out of breath.
He looks really out of breath out there because he's running so much.
If you're 23 years old and you need to be taken out and you're the franchise quarterback, that's not a good thing.
I thought these guys were elite athletes, Well, the sideline reporter is interviewing the Indianapolis coach at halftime or going in the third quarter. And she asked him, like, what do you got to do to get your offense in gear? You haven't scored a lot of points. And he goes on this like super fast word salad. He's like, we got to calm down. We're acting too crazy out there. We just got to settle down. I was like, well, No one's going to calm down if you're yelling and talking all crazy, coach. You got to calm down. It was really unhinged. It was pretty funny to watch. And the only other thing I wrote down is Indianapolis. All right, I hope you're sitting down or your arms aren't tight, Omar. Indianapolis ran the option play one time in this game. When's the last time you saw the option?
Maybe 93.
93? November 93?
November 93.
And they didn't run like a cute pro version of the option. They ran a standard quarterback down the line option play. I was like, what did I just see? And even the announcer was like, was that the option play? And they got like 11 yards out of it. It worked too. You like Houston still, but you're a little worried about them winning these games.
Yes, they should have handled Indianapolis a lot better than they did.
Okay. I don't know. I just think some of these teams win like this these days. I just think winning ugly is a thing now. That's my thought. Okay, I got 3 late games that I wrote down as not watchable. But I mainly wrote down because I was so fixated on the Chicago, Washington, and KC Vegas game. But I had New Orleans at LA Chargers. Chargers killed them 26-8. Are the Chargers silently good?
They're a well-coached team.
See, like that's an example of a team that has average talent and has been elevated by their coach. Would you agree with that?
Totally. And I did like the fact that a defensive player rolled up on their quarterback's ankle, and the lineman had something to say about that.
I saw that. Do you think a Jets lineman would do that for Aaron Rodgers?
No, Aaron Rodgers is a pussy.
So angry, Omar. You're mad at people on jury duty and Aaron Rodgers and Jerry Jones. You didn't even have sympathy when his family got hit in the car. Second, not watchable. Buffalo at Seattle. I thought this was going to be a great game, and Buffalo just kind of flexed on them.
Not much to talk about this game.
31-10.
Buffalo just dominated.
Is Seattle going to do anything this year?
No, they're not that good.
Well, if they're not that good and the 49ers aren't that good, who's winning your division? We don't know if the Rams are good yet. Who's winning your division?
You know what? That division may be wide open.
Oh, so you're back now. You're back like, let's try for the division. Who's the team I'm leaving out? Seattle, Rams, 49ers, and who else?
Seahawks.
Oh, Seahawks. I forgot about that. Seahawks, Rams, 49ers. No, the other one. Who's the fourth?
Seahawks, Rams, 49ers, Cardinals.
Oh, Cardinals. That's what I'm leaving out. That division is wide open. What are you thinking about packing in the season? You can win that division. All those teams you can beat. Don't you think? Who are you scared of?
It's Super Bowl or bust. We're not going to win the Super Bowl.
So you're going to win the division, but you're not going to win the Super Bowl.
Maybe.
Oh, maybe. Gosh, so wishy-washy. Who are you getting in this trade deadline, though? Who do you want?
What do I want?
Yes. A cell phone in this dungeon? Is that what you want?
We need a receiver.
Who are you going after?
Devontae Adams.
Oh, 2 trades in one season?
Yeah. No, I'm kidding. No, it's just there's not a whole lot out there.
Receiver. Huh. You got talent. I just think you're all banged up.
But no, truth be told, we need another rusher. I think the Niners, there was a rumor that they're going to go after DeForest Buckner, from the Colts again, and that would be a great deal. Yeah,
the 49ers no-name running back today had a great game, but this was like the first time we've seen him.
Yep.
I think everything clicked for the 49ers tonight. I think it's going to get better. I don't know why you're like cautiously so down, Super Bowl or bust. Why are you demanding such craziness out of your team? Let them do their thing, Omar. God, I wish I was in your position. You know what? You're spoiled by your 49ers talent. So spoiled. I wish we had some talent. I wish we could run a play on first down that wasn't a run in the middle. Okay, Carolina, Denver. 28-14, Denver beats Carolina. Not watchable. I think Bo Nix played good, but I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't watch it.
No,
I didn't have
I didn't watch it either, but obviously Carolina is not a good situation.
Carolina is not any good. There's no way Denver can beat Kansas City. So I don't think I think this is one of those games where the teams could have just come to the 50-yard line and could have said, what if I win and you lose? And they could have said, okay, and we would have been fine with that. Like, okay, we don't need to play. Why risk any injury? So that leads us to KC at Las Vegas. KC 27, Las Vegas 20. Um, the Raiders had another great opening drive. We scored all our touchdowns on opening drives this year. And then we go into the offensive coma. There was one point where Mahomes got hit and started limping. And I was like, oh shit, this could be the game that maybe the Chiefs won, but Mahomes gets kind of fucked up. The Raiders, in true Raiders fashion, they signed Desmond Ridder off Arizona's practice squad during the week. He comes in at one point on 3rd and 1. And we're like, oh, what's he going to do? Is this a special Desmond Ridder play? Illegal procedure, 5-yard penalty. Minshew comes back in. Could go another way. No other way for the Raiders. Unbelievable.
Not a good team. Not a good team.
That being said, Casey gave the Raiders plenty of chances. I think there was a series where Casey had a penalty on every other play, and not like ticky-tack. Like, these were legitimate penalties. And there was a point where I think the Raiders are down 14. Mahomes, from his end zone, gets the ball tipped. It's intercepted, and the Raiders return it to the 2. And what do you think happens the next 4 plays, Omar? I'm going to tell you what happens.
They got stopped.
I'm going to tell you what happens. First down, run up the middle, gain 1 yard. Second down, run up the middle, lose 2 yards. Third down, run off tackle, no gain. Fourth down, Gardner Minshew gets sacked. If we can't put the ball in from the 3, something's wrong with our offense and is bad. And the final salt in the womb. At one point, Trent Green has said, is commentating, Gardner Minshew's actually had a pretty decent game. He's just got to avoid that one turnover that's hurt his team the last few weeks. What do you think happens on the very next play?
You tell. I didn't watch that game at all.
Oh, you can take a guess, Omar. Let me give you your.
They got stopped, Pat.
I wish they got stopped. Minshew runs the ball and fumbles it. Trent Green, somehow this future teller, predicted it. He put the hex on him or something, but I was like, hey, yeah, Minshew hasn't fumbled the ball in a while. Unbelievable. Trent Green called it. A little bit of garbage time, and the Raiders close it down to 27-20. Onside kick. Don't get it. But like I said, this is Raiders Fun Day Sunday now. So whatever happens, happens. Just go have fun, Raiders. Cheer on your team. But you don't have to lose your mind over the Raiders anymore. That's where I'm at. I'm going to be honest. I'm not mentally there yet, but that's what I'm trying to get to. Do you think there's any other approach I should have to my team?
Just keep the expectations very low.
They were low today. They were low. And the fact that they scored on their first drive, got them up a little bit, and they were playing with the Chiefs. They were really giving them competition. The Chiefs were obviously ready to break this game wide open at any point. There was a great series where they stopped the Chiefs on first down. The Chiefs got a penalty. It was 2nd and 20. The Chiefs get a few yards. It's 3rd and 12, and I'm like, here we go. And then Mahomes gets 15 yards. So I'm like, oh, I forgot the Chiefs are good. So Sunday Fun Day for Raiders. That's all I'm going with. Have some pizza, drink some beers, and feel free to flip the channels, because Chicago-Washington was the other game on. And, okay, you agree that this wasn't a great offensive game, yet it was really compelling in the same way.
Jane Daniels is a superstar, and that's all there is to it.
What did you think of Caleb Williams in this game?
He was terrible, Patrick. The guy couldn't complete anything until the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, the last 2 minutes we could almost talk about the last 2 minutes in its own show, because something changed. in Caleb Williams because not only did he play better in the last 2 minutes, like he turned into like Joe Montana leadership, like hitting people on the butt, bouncing up, talking to all the players. I was like, oh man, like this is going to be a big game for him because he is totally invested in this team. So I really was impressed with the turnaround because the first 3 quarters, he was not good. He's trying to do like the USC run out of sacks and stuff, and they're too fast for him. Like they get him by the ankles almost every single time. And one sack he took on a third down that knocked him out of field goal range was horrible. So pretty tough. And then Jaden Daniels gets injured like in the first quarter. Did you see the huge wrap they put on him on the sideline?
Yeah.
What was that going to do? I don't know what the point of that was.
Well, whatever it did, whatever it was, it worked because he threw that rifle, that lucky bounce, wins the game.
Yeah, the Bears were super messy. Here's what led to that though, because the Bears had the ball like on the 1, and they tried to do the put in the big old lineman as a fullback play, and they try to hand it off to him, and he fumbles it on the 1. Somehow the Bears get it back though, and they score, and now Washington has it. I wrote it down. They have it with like 20 seconds left, one timeout, and they get it to the 50, and then they throw the Hail Mary. No one gave the Hail Mary a name yet, but it's going to have a name on Monday, probably, right? The Washington Miracle or the Jaden Miracle. That was a great Hail Mary because I love that it got tipped up. And it was like everybody held their breath for a second.
And so much spin, the ball ended up to the back of that pile, and that's how that ball was caught.
Yeah, like it was a great throw. I looked on the field. He throws it 65 yards in the air, and it almost lands right on the goal line. So it had enough room for it to be tipped backwards into the end zone. And just like the crowd goes nuts. And I forgot to say, like, I'm watching the game with my brother here in Chicago, and then we're gonna go pick up a pizza afterwards. And we forget we're walking by all these bars, and they're like dead silent in there. Everybody's bummed out and sad and got their Bears jerseys on. I was like, oh shit. Everybody's going to be super depressed for the next 45 minutes in this city. So do you believe that like a crazy play like this can make the team of destiny?
Absolutely. This Washington team is very special. You watch out for Jaden Daniels. Right now, I am looking for everywhere for his football card.
Oh, you still collect football cards?
Yeah. Oh, I'm into it again.
How? What do you been collecting? Do you buy the little packs or you just go for the full set?
No, I got you. The trick is if you want to well, Camilo wants to make a business out of it, so he's
That's
going
your son.
for
For the audience who doesn't know.
he wants to do he wants to find certain players.
Is your son? What was he a fan of that enraged you?
The Cardinals. He division
Cardinals.
rival.
That was it. Yeah. Is he still a Cardinals fan?
No, he's now back to the Texans because what he was doing was he was following DeAndre Hopkins.
Oh,
But
that's
now
right.
that
That was a
he's
big acquisition this week.
yeah, and now he won't go to the Chiefs with him, so Camilo's back at the Texans.
What kind of child are you raising who can flip flop teams
No,
like
these kids
that?
do whatever the fuck they want.
God, you're on one today. I hear something in your voice. I can hear it because you're not on video this time, so I'm more in tune to your voice. All right, here's the stats for Jaden Daniels today. 21 of 38, 326 yards, 1 touchdown. He was sacked twice. By comparison, Caleb Williams, 10 of 24, 131, no touchdowns, no picks. So, by the way, this was a score of. Go ahead.
What's that?
Oh, I said go ahead.
I didn't have it. I didn't say anything.
Oh, I thought you were going to make a point.
No.
I have down that this was actually a sloppy game because it's 15-18, the final score. Chicago doesn't score any points in the first half. Washington 3 points in the second and third quarter, 6 in the fourth, of course. defensive battle, just sloppy. I don't know what to call this game, but it's just about winning ugly this year. So many teams just win ugly unless you're Detroit. You just grind out these wins, and Washington is 6-2, undefeated at home. And the Bears, they're not exactly in bad shape either. They're 4-3.
Right.
Where are you on the Bears and Caleb Williams? Do you think they're going to catch fire later this year, or are they a year away?
Um, they're not going to catch the Lions. There may be two. I think the Lions are here to stay for a while, so they're about 3 years from catching the Lions.
Yeah, that may be. That may, if the Lions stay good, like that is going to be a tough division. Packers aren't exactly bad either. Tough division. Minnesota as well. Stacked. Really stacked. All right, those were the games. Let's talk the memorable moments, or let's do the awards because the first one up is a memorable moment. I got the Hail Mary, of course. Just that 30 seconds of them setting up the play, snapping it. Jaden Daniels runs around for almost 10 seconds and in the great tip ball. That is my memorable moment. And I also got all three early games being won by a field goal with within a minute of all of each other too. So those are my two nominees. I give it to the Hail Mary. You can't beat a Hail Mary. What do you got for a memorable moment?
No, that's the only moment. It's Jaden Daniels. He's here. He's him.
Just Jaden Daniels in general today is your moment?
Patrick, understand what we're looking at here. This is something special. The Washington Reds, I'm going to go, look, I just call them the Redskins. The Commanders, this franchise, it was a once proud franchise. Remember the 80s. So this is the team that won the week for me. This is the team, my memorable moment. The Washington Commanders, a.k.a. Redskins, are back.
Wow. So there's a moment in there somewhere. I didn't quite catch it, but I think I know what you're saying. Hey, can we put a moratorium on all the NFL teams just having a black uniform option? I didn't know the Washington Commanders were the Washington Commanders for 45 minutes in this game.
No.
Can you just make your uniform black?
I'm okay with that.
You liked it? I didn't like it. Cringeworthy award of the week. I got a couple nominees. In the Detroit game, they did a shot of Aiden Hutchinson with his injured foot in the big old boot in the player's box. That bummed me out. Just I was just sitting there with his leg all wrapped up, watching the game. That was rough.
I'll give you a cringeworthy. It kind of seems like every time when you're in the NFL, when you see the number 50 up there, isn't that the number that's kind of cringe in the NFL?
Oh, their points? They're 52 points?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a little much. That was a little much for the Lions.
Oh, you cringe for who did they play? Who did they kill?
Yeah, that was cringe for me, and of course the Jets are cringe for me.
Jets period. I feel like we can cut and paste the Jets almost every week.
Right.
It makes me wonder who the heck did the Jets beat anyway? I don't remember. I also got how we talked about the awesome Hail Mary from Jaden Daniels. But on the flip side, Indianapolis Hail Mary was the exact opposite because Anthony Richardson got sacked trying to throw a Hail Mary.
Yep.
That is the worst when you don't even get your Hail Mary pass off. And then lastly, cringeworthy word, Jerry Jones' family car got hit on the way to the game, which I'm not sure what they quite mean by family car. They probably have a driver, right? And he's driving all the family members in a big SUV.
For sure.
Is what I'm thinking. And it said they hit a raised embankment I didn't understand the actual collision. So I got that as a cringeworthy moment. Getting in a car crash on the way to the game.
That's bad.
That's cringeworthy. I'm going to give it to the car crash. All right. Best Innovation Award of the week. In the Philly-Cincinnati game, there are two twin brothers who play on each team, one on Cincinnati, one Philly, and they do shots of the parents, and the parents were wearing a Philly jersey, but a Bengals hat. They were trying to split it up. So you know what my best innovation of the week is?
What's that?
Twins. Just nature's ability to make twins. Look at all the great things we got out of Twins. We got this game. We got the
De,
movie Twins.
DeVito Schwarzenegger is a great movie.
We got Arnold Schwarzenegger Double Team. We got, remember in the 80s, like two hot chicks that were twins was like a thing. You'd be like, twins, dude. So I just went with nature's ability to produce twins as one great innovation. Here's one. Now you're gonna have to stick with me on this. I had this idea like circa 1999. If you're a DB and you wear the gloves,
Right?
you should wear matching gloves of your opponent's jersey. That way, when your hand's on the jersey, it doesn't look like you're grabbing them. Everybody laughed me out of the room when I said this to my friends in 1999. And during the Indianapolis-Houston game, the commentator said they should wear the matching gloves of the uniforms of their opponents. I was like, hey, that was my idea 20 years ago. So that's my best innovation. Wear matching gloves of your opponents to trick the referees. What do you think of my idea? Would you have laughed me out of my room?
I'm laughing you out right now.
You don't think that's a great idea?
It's not bad.
Oh, what a flip-flopper. You're going back to the dungeon. Soundtrack. Oh, what's your best innovation? I skipped you.
I like, after 8 weeks with it now, I'd like the new kickoff rule.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think it's player safeties first, and I like the rule.
You do. And we have gotten plenty of returns out of it, so that's an added bonus. Okay, I'm surprised by that. Okay, I had a thought. Because I actually watched some college football this week, and they still do the regular kickoff. Like, not only do the regular kickoff, they can get a running start still. And I was watching some old games, and you know what I have not seen in forever? Remember there was a guy on the kickoff team who would face the kicker with his arms up like this, and as the kicker's running up and he kicks the ball, he goes, do you remember that?
Yeah.
What happened to that guy? What was that guy even doing?
I don't know.
Yeah, that was a weird thing. I'm like, was he telling the kickoff team that you can start running? But they were already running. And it's not like they couldn't see the kicker. They're facing the kicker. What happened to this guy who would do the whole thing? All right, next award. We'll cut all that out. Soundtrack award. What I got? I got an option here. Oh, yeah. Did you see Fred Warner was being interviewed before the game? And I think Rodney Harrison was like, how do you get motivated for this game? And Fred Warner just goes, oh, I got to go to a dark place. And I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, Fred Warner? So I wrote
that was
down.
a little lame.
You thought it was lame, huh?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean lame? I thought that was scary.
That was lame.
Oh. Well, I got for my soundtrack award based off of Fred Warner's Dark Place. Go play some like Godsmack or Disturbed or Korn in the locker room to get into that dark place in the locker room. Get crazy.
I'm kind of similar. My soundtrack is the Inagata Gavita, the Grateful Dead with the way Aaron Rodgers is talking. The guy's tripping.
Yeah. Oh, so you got two songs. You got Grateful Dead and Inagata Davida. Inagata Davida is Iron Butterfly.
Oh, there you go. Iron Butterfly. That's right. That.
Come on, who are you talking to? I know my classic rock. Okay, that's a good one. So you're trying to mellow out Aaron Rodgers, or you're trying to like get him back to center.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. All right, next award, Hot Take Award. I got a good one for you this week. Hot take. Jameis Winston's going to make the Pro Bowl. He could get hot.
It.
He could string together some wins. Everybody loves him. He's a great teammate. Jameis Winston, all aboard, man. Hot take.
I like it.
What do you got for a hot take of the week?
Hot take, even though they got to win today, the 49ers season is over.
Jeez, I don't like your hot take. I mean, I have to include it for the sake of journalism, but I don't like how you're so down on your own team. That's what makes me think you're in a hostage bunker right now. Like you're being forced to say these words. I don't believe this is the real Omar Carmona. Sunday double feature. I'm going to take your silence as you might be a hostage.
Yeah, I may be.
Sunday double feature. All right, the Washington game was, the best game of the week, the coolest game, the coolest ending, Jaden Daniels, all that stuff. So I was thinking about Washington movies.
Okay.
You know what's a good Washington movie? Enemy of the State. Just
Okay.
great. It's also takes place in the fall. There's leaves. Will Smith is wearing like the businessman like overcoat trench coat in that movie too. I went Enemy of the State. Great Washington movie.
I'm gonna go with a great Washington movie, True Lies. Great Washington movie.
Oh, good one. That's a good one too. I thought you were gonna go Few Good Men. True Lies is good. Yeah, what's another Washington movie? It's a great setting. It's not used that often.
Right.
I can't think of any other ones off the top of my head other than your like Dave and movies like that. Okay, into the maybe awards, which are always fun, but I got a few this week. Announcer award, which I already said it. Trent Green calls the Minshew fumble and thus breaks the Raiders' hearts for the fourth week in a row. Trent Green, you called the fumble. I got to give you the announcer award for that.
Announcer, I didn't have any because I was in an airport today. I mean, on an airplane today, so I really didn't get to hear much.
Yeah, because you do like the red zone on mute or something.
Yeah,
So
I
you
do. I
really
do
don't
the red zone on
listen.
me. I'm just watching the. Yeah, so I didn't get any audio this week.
Hmm. Nothing from Omar.
But I will
Location
say,
award.
I mean, the way the social media was talking about the four quarters Jameis Winston put up compared to 7 games of Deshaun Watson.
Mm.
That was pretty loud.
Jeez. Jameis Winston. His whole quote from last week could have been an announcer award. Or like I'm sure he had another mini locker room press conference again today, which we'll hear tomorrow. Like we just need more Winston in our life. Okay, location award this week. I got one, and I just wrote down any NFL luxury box. Just looks like everybody's like super duper rich in there. It seems like there's good food out there. There's drinks. It just seems like a great place to watch an NFL game because there's probably TVs in there as well. And it's really hard to watch an NFL game without TVs. So you got best of both worlds. NFL luxury box is my location award for the week.
Location award. I'm gonna go with. You know what? It was nice that the Niners got a win at home against the
Oh,
Cowboys. So
yeah, the
Santa
stadium
Clara.
looked really good.
Yeah, it was very nice tonight.
I also like when games just happen to work out this way when the game starts in the daylight and it ends in the evening. I always thought that was cool. Almost seems like you're like they show the highlights like, oh yeah, remember when this game started? It was daylight. I
Right.
like that. Look good. Next award is best quote. I got Chris Collinsworth had a quote mid third quarter. Mike, this is how you beat the blitz. The pressure comes from over here. You throw the ball over there. That was another great quote from Chris Collinsworth today. He was having fun today. Oh,
It
by
was
the
a good.
way, it was National Tight End Day today, which I think we officially beat to death by the end of today.
Well, and Kittle had a good few catches, and to me the best tight end in the game.
Did you see NBC and Melissa Stark gave them like heavyweight champion belts
Yes, they got some
after the
belts
game?
out
Looked
of it.
like they were
Yeah,
made out of paper mache with stickers on it.
yeah, that was a little weird.
NBC, we can't come up with better props. Is this where we're at? I saw a news article this week that said they paid Carrie Underwood $1 million a week for each song she does. Which, by the way, they changed the teams' names in the song, and that's about it. Like that's the
Right.
song. So we couldn't come up with a better belt, NBC, or what about a crown? Like, did we think of this 30 minutes before the game and someone just punched holes in a strap of leather? NBC, come on, man. Unbelievable. Just cut Jason Garrett's salary by a third and get some fun props for the end of these games. I didn't like the belt either. I thought it was cheesy. I wanted Kittle to throw his into the stands. Like this is what I think of your belt. Best quote. Did you do your best quote already?
No, like I said, I had no audio all day.
Oh yeah, you were no audio. No audio. Blindfolded probably. Best play call / coaches award. I went with the Bears' decision to hand off the ball to a huge lineman and fumbled the ball. I thought was a great bonehead coaching award today. But honorable mention to Luke Getsy, the offensive coordinator of the Raiders, who constantly thinks running the ball up the middle is going to surprise the Chiefs. I think he did it on first down 99% of the downs today.
I like the Commanders, just the play call, just throw it long.
Just throw it long. Hope for the best. Great Hail Mary. And I like how they replayed some of like the fun Hail Marys over the years, like the Crazy Rogers ones and a couple of near Hail Marys. I love a Hail Mary compilation. Really good. All right. Well, those were the awards, Omar. We battled through them. That leaves one more game tomorrow. Guess what it is? Because it is
Steelers Giants.
That's right. It is the New York Giants at the sneaky good Pittsburgh Steelers. Somehow we've watched a lot of primetime Steelers as well this year. All right, so number one, do you even like this matchup? Are you going to watch it? Are you in Halloween mode? I don't know if you saw my pumpkins back here.
No, I like them. I am going to watch. And because I am in the dungeon, I am going to go with the Steelers 22, the Giants 13.
I have a sneaky suspicion this is going to be a close game, and I'm going to be forced to watch it. So I'm going to go Steelers 25, Giants 24. I don't know why. That's a dumb score, but that's going to be my prediction because it's almost Halloween and dumb stuff happens for Halloween games. But I like that you admitted you're in the dungeon now.
Oh, I'm in the dungeon. Oh, I got to vote for the Steelers.
Wow. Well, it is an election year, so you're going to vote for the Steelers.
I'm voting for the Steelers.
By mail, early voting for the Steelers.
Yep.
Well, that was the Sunday Night Talk, everyone. That was Omar Carmona. That was me, Patrick Ramirez, for Week 8. This season is flying by.
It is.
Week 8, everybody. Monday night tomorrow. Thanks for listening. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Omar, good luck in the dungeon, man.
All right, brother. Great seeing you.
Talk to you later.
Later.